Alright, well, we're out and about again. Not really an old cemetery this time. This one's pretty recent here. I wish I'd asked when I was out here the other day. I'd say this is Forest Lawn. Once again, every town has a forest lawn. We're in Anderson today. I've been working on this cemetery. It's a lot of requests out here, and hadn't been GPS tagged. Got it taken care of. Getting there at least. Very nice cemetery. I mean, they got to give it. Anytime you see folks who take care, and this is not a chain. This is just a regular old cemetery. I guess quasi-independently owned McDougal cemeteries. But they do an excellent job out here on the grounds. Everything looks really great. Reason I wanted to make this video, because this is not one that I normally do. There's a couple of famous burials out here. There's Senator Hall, who was a World War II senator from the state of South Carolina. He's out here. Just very recently, a two-time Super Bowl winner. Played on some of the Steelers teams from the late 70s. Also played for the Redskins in 78 and I believe it's Chicago in 79. A very, very interesting nickname. His nickname was Hydroplane. And that comes about because of his last name. His last name, I gotta look this up. I mean, pretty much you can say Flydroplane. It's pretty close to that. Let's see here. Just gonna pull this up. Jack Hydroplane Delaplane, and he just passed away on August 2nd and is buried out here. But the most famous that people will have heard of in today's day and age is Chadwick Boseman, actor. Passed away in 2020 from colon cancer. And the family has decided not to put a marker out, and that's understandable. How people deal with what they do is up to them. The concern that I had, I was speaking with some of the folks who work out here, and I just happened to ask about it because, I knew he had been buried out here based on reading court filings for his will, and there were crypts purchased for him and his parents. It's all part court documents, public information. However, the cemetery is under a non-disclosure agreement. They cannot tell anyone who is not family where he is buried. Understand that, and that's the family's decision, and that's what they want to do. That's what they want to do. Hopefully, at some point, they might put a marker out for him, not just for them. Well, mainly for them. Yeah, I always think it helps to have a marker to go look at, but the family's decision is what it is. What's right for them is what's right. But some of the folks out here told me a little story that they got a van full of people that apparently drove up here from Charleston. Now, this is Anderson. This is outside of Greenville. It's about 4 hours from Charleston to here, give or take. And I have something stuck in my shoe that is really causing pain. So we might, we're going to take a second here. Let's see if I can get that out. Ow. And the devil. That is a thorn. How do you get a thorn stuck? Ah. Okay, anyway. This is really just kind of a thing here. Hey, they can't tell you where he is. Yeah, you look at some of the court documents, you know he's in a mausoleum because crypts were purchased. At least that's the theory. And crypts were purchased for him and his parents. So do the math if you want to, but they're not going to tell you anything. There are 11 different mausoleums here, depending on what you count. None of them are secure mausoleums. They're all facing outside. I always kind of call them a lawn crypt. The ones that sit out in the middle of the burials, and it's just a small little mausoleum there. But yeah, don't come out here expecting to see his grave. It's not marked, and they cannot tell you where it is. It's the first time I've run into a situation like that. Again, family decision. What they decide is the right decision. I've been out and seen a number of famous graves. When I actually didn't post this video, I do have it, of when I went out to Santa Monica, California to find my great-grandfather. He is buried at Woodlawn in Santa Monica, California. And there's a few famous burials out there, and when I went out there to find his grave, I took a look and got some photos of those, of Irene Ryan, Granny from Beverly Hillbillies, is buried out there. Harvey Korman, you might remember from Blazing Saddles, and Carol Burnett. And, let's see, Sally Ride is out there. And Barbara Billingsley. So, it's kind of interesting and fun to see some of the final resting places of celebrities and things of that nature, but obviously the family was concerned, so don't make a trip out here and expect to see a marker, because there is not one. Especially don't drive 4 hours to do it. Alright. Well, we're going to drive around here because this cemetery has got a rough count going of probably around 20,000 burials. Between burials and interments, call it what you will. And someone came out here and did photographing for Find a Grave back in about 2012, but it doesn't look like much has been done since then. So when I first started at this, I think there were like 250, 260 requests. I've got about 100 of them knocked out. I've probably got another good month of work out here. I haven't even touched the mausoleums yet. I always try and wait for rain, because you at least got a cover there. When it's nice, you can work the mausoleums. When it's raining, you can work mausoleums. But when it's raining, you can't get out there and stay dry, at least. Alright. So we're just going to do a little lap around here. Well, I'll tell you, this is a cemetery that has some of the just elbow room. The graves are spaced fairly far apart. The football game's not making noise for us here. And we'll just do a little lap around here. So we're at the top side, all the way up top of the hill. We got 10 mausoleums up here. There's one lawn crypt that I know of. Might be one more. Pretty cool looking little lighthouse in the middle. I should have asked what the deal with that is. They had a funeral here, so I had to shake up where I was working. Stay out of their way. And good night above. They had people parking all over the place. And it looks like, yeah, they're starting to, it's just about cleared out. So that right there is the office. And we're just going to try and go through here and here's our little lighthouse up here. Pretty cool looking. Now if you see over there across the street, that's still the cemetery going. That would be pretty much mausoleum number 11. I think that was designed to be for military, but it appears that requirement has pretty much been dropped. We'll drive up by there real quick. Alright, now here's where we gotta be careful, because this is the main road. And he's sitting there thinking you're going through a cemetery, and surprise, you will wind up losing your butt. Just gotta drive through here a little bit. This is fairly new, I'd say 2000, 2001 this has gone in. Very nice retaining wall. They do have some burials out here, but mostly it's mausoleum crypts. Now, if you were thinking of what I said earlier, according to court records, we know it's a mausoleum crypt, and there are very few that have multiple spaces available. This is one of them, and there's one more up there at the top of the hill, so you probably can take a guess where Chadwick Boseman is buried, but we don't know for sure, and they ain't telling, because they can't. Just gonna come back through here, but just wanted to show this one. Nice little cemetery here. Not exactly all that little, but compared to some of them I've done, it certainly is. Alright, we'll power off here.